Here we go again. Avry's World, episode 2. You wanted a second episode, well, you didn't. But I didn't hear enough complaints saying this show sucked, so we're back for another week of it. And this time, I'm joined by a new co-host, one Mr. Josh Bourhis. Josh, how you doing tonight, sir?
Good, and your show does suck. I'm very surprised it was not canceled.
Like you said, no complaints. If no one complains, that means you're good. That's how the world works, Josh.
Twitter right now and at you and say how bad the show was. Actually, you know what though? Brad was very good last week. I really enjoyed seeing him on the show. Only met him once, but he's a really good guy, actually.
You enjoyed seeing him on an audio show? That's very impressive. You can see through audio.
Come on, you know what I'm saying.
I knew what you meant. Anyway, with all my guests, I like to do a little background. So, Josh, how in the world do we even meet, sir?
I used to do an online radio show on Blog Talk Radio called In the Crease, and we stumbled up, Mike Wilson and I, a friend of mine, we did the show together, and pretty much we stumbled upon your show, and you were our competition, so we actually despised you, our young, I think 12-year-old selves.
Yes.
We wanted to knock you out. We wanted to be better than you, and in the end, we started talking to you to get, I think we asked for Gene Principe's email just to try and get him on the show. And from there, we started talking, and yeah, now we're really good friends. So
that's correct.
Amazing how that works. From enemies to good friends.
It's true, actually. You know what? I think you had about 45 shows, and I appeared on about 40 of them.
Yeah, pretty much. You were on a lot.
No, it's true. I was. I think the most infamous caller you guys had was some guy, Jimmy from Florida, who asked you guys to lick his dog's testicles because you didn't know about a NASCAR race.
Well, I'm sorry, but we're from Alberta. We don't exactly watch NASCAR religiously, and yeah, he was none too pleased with that. Yeah, I was a little.
I know you were.
Yeah.
I know it was good fun, wasn't it, Josh?
It was. What was that in the background?
That was one of the Avry's World sound effects.
Oh, I was just curious.
Yeah, there's many, and of course, I know we'll get to many topics, and I know, first of all, since you're a Boston Red Sox fan, we got to talk about tonight's game, Boston, New York, Alex Rodriguez, his return to Fenway Park, showered with booze. Ryan Dempster plunks him.
Yeah, well, he did. He actually, Dempster pitched outside of A-Rod, his first pitch, threw a couple strikes or a couple balls the other way, and then just totally beamed him. The reaction from the umpire was pretty funny. Actually, he was mad. Really mad.
And it's funny because I think Dumps knew it was going to happen. Even funnier, there's background. I guess on Twitter, there's a story that went around that Ryan Dempster cannot stand A-Rod because some charity event they're both at, and A-Rod ignored Dempster. So Dempster said to an NHL agent that if I ever play against A-Rod again, I will beat him first game I get a chance against him.
You know what? And I'll give him respect for that, for keeping his word, and also because he's a Yankee and, proven steroid user from what it's been. So I totally supported it.
And of course, in true A-Rod form, what does the man do? He goes out tonight and hits a home run in a meaningless role. When the game is, not even they're down by 3 or more runs. That's when A-Rod decides to come up with a home run. Not in a tie game, not to take a lead when it doesn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter at the time, but it sparked another 3 runs after they loaded the bases there. Gardner hit a triple, probably almost into one of the trickiest parts of Fenway Park. But now they're still losing, and they're probably going to lose this game. But the Red Sox are. But that was kind of frustrating to see A-Rod hit that.
I've just seen, this whole steroid chant. But it's funny because Red Sox fans, they chant steroid. You're one of them, but Boston fans have had players in their own steroid allegations before, including one David Ortiz.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, back in 2003. You know what? I'm not gonna. I could, try and come on here and deny it because he is my favorite player. But you know what? He did get caught. But the thing is, at least from that point on, he hopefully from what. There's no proof, but right now I'm sure he's clean. I think he cleaned up the act. It was something to at the start of your career. I understand that some younger players really tend to almost need that boost to get to the extra level. And then once they get there, they can get off of it, stop doing steroids. But yeah, I won't deny that he was caught, and yeah, Boston is notorious. Well, not notorious for it, but they've had steroid users in the past, and I mean almost every team has. So, but I think the problem is the way A-Rod has dealt with it, appealing it, and just, which I think is really dumb, to be honest. That he's going to be able to play the rest of the year out because of his appeal, which I don't think is really fair. Because the Yankees can get back in the hunt, and he can definitely help them. And who knows if he's even clean right now? He could still be on steroids now that he's appealing. Because what are the chances that he gets tested while he's appealing?
Odds are low, and that's the one thing. Of course, being able to play during suspension, that goes back into the CBA language, and they want that to be changed when the CBA runs out again in baseball. Then they have to change the rules and saying when you're suspended, you can't play. Period. Because right now, as you say, if you appeal, you can still play. That's to be changed in next labor negotiations in Major League Baseball for that to happen.
Yeah, I completely disagree with it. If you're suspended, you're suspended. And you know what I have respect for all the other players that took the suspension and just accepted it for what it is. That's the thing. If A-Rod would have said, you know what, I used steroids, this was wrong, I will take the 211 game suspension, I think it is, and serve it, and I will come back and try and revamp my image, become a better player, become a role model kind of thing. And instead, he's completely, like his lawyer even, with like the allegations that he was being played to get hurt, stuff like that. Like he's really just acting foolish and hurting his image even more. Not surprisingly, you wouldn't think you could hurt your image even more than he already has, but he's going downhill for sure.
Oh, he absolutely is. And I mean, this is a guy, A-Rod, for quite a while, has felt he's bigger than the game. I mean, there's the Yes I photo shoot of him kissing the mirror, which is very, very creepy. I mean, I don't get Alex Rodriguez. It's like if you're a bank robber and you are caught with $1 million on your person and then you plead not guilty with cameras around, dude, take your punishment. You're not going to get off of this. There's too much evidence against you, man.
And the thing is, like, the suspension just seems way too long for any appeal to really be anything. I'm sure if he appeals and it goes through, he will only probably get maybe 50 games taken off that suspension. You're still almost out for a whole year, or if not a whole year. So why not just serve it? Like, really, it doesn't make sense on my part, on his part to me. But
no, not at all. I mean, and here's the thing, because from what I recall is that if he appeals and it gets denied, he could still face a lifetime ban. What if he gets that? Then he's really screwed.
Honestly, I think he should. You know what? He's been dirty for years, and enough is enough. And if Selig wants to make an impact on the game and really shock everyone, and really get people, try and fear people into not using steroids anymore, I think you have to. I think you have to start giving out lifetime bans, especially for someone that's been caught in the act before and has been with this scandal for years.
No, of course. And you know what? With lifetime bans in baseball, I don't think people really comprehend a lifetime ban or its era, because a lifetime ban means you can't play, you can't manage, heck, you can't even be a broadcaster if you're employed by the franchise. You can't do anything with a team if you're banned for life. I don't think A-Rod fully gets that fact of it.
Yeah, I don't think he does either. I mean, he does have, from what it looks like and how he's being portrayed, he does have a pretty huge ego, and he doesn't really think things through. But the other thing, too, is, like, you never know how he's managing his money. So, really, if he were to be suspended for life and lose all that, like, all the money he was going to be paid out, who knows? He could be bankrupt in a couple of years. It's happened to athletes in the past where they've mismanaged their money. So I think if that happens, and, I mean, obviously, I don't like the guy, but I'd never want to see someone go bankrupt, because it's unbelievable. It's very traumatic. But at the same time, something like that, if he was to be banned from the game and then have something like that happen, it might really show other players that I need to clean my game up, because I don't want that to happen.
There have been lifetime bans given in the 70s and 80s and the early 90s, but they were all overturned. So if a lifetime ban comes to A-Rod, I don't think you'll ever see a lifetime ban if it comes down from Major League Baseball. It'll get overturned by the union or an arbitrator.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It would be really tough to actually see one go through. But you know what? If it gets to a point, there's some time where you need to draw the line and seriously consider it. But who knows if it's A-Rod, who knows if it's a player down the road. It depends on how bad steroids continue to get in the MLB.
Right. So. I mean, could you imagine it'd be a wake-up call to say in 5 years, a top rookie, or a top guy in the league is 21 years old, lifetime ban. That would be a black eye for baseball.
Honestly, I think any lifetime ban, in a sense, would be a black eye for baseball. Even this 211-game suspension is a black eye for baseball, just due to the fact that it shows that the game has not gotten any cleaner. I don't think it's got any cleaner. If not, it's gotten worse, and there's really no solution right now that seems good enough to really bring the game up to a higher level at this point.
No, there isn't, which is crazy, because Bud Selig, the man says baseball is as clean as ever been. Dude, you're 185 years old. You need to step down. You're talking silliness. This is a guy who doesn't want instant replay in baseball when every other sport besides pro soccer has it. What are you afraid of? Change for, bud.
I know. Sometimes he just frustrates me because it just seems like baseball is a sport that's very stubborn. I understand, I respect, I love baseball because of its tradition, but at the same time, you need to progress as a league no matter what, or else, I mean, there's no, I don't know, it just seems frustrating to me when a league doesn't want to change to make it better. But yeah,
it's true.
Bud needs some help, I think.
But
he needs someone else to kind of show him and say, hey, this is what we need to do, because he's too stubborn in his ways to make the changes that need to be made.
But you know, with Bud Selig, if you ask him right now what the year is, he might say 1975 for all we know.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, who knows? But yeah,
it's true. I mean, you know what though, Josh? Next year, 2014, could be interesting because the league has proposed manager challenges. We get 1 in the first 6 innings and 2 after the 6th inning. And if you win your challenges, you'll get a 3rd.
Yeah, to me that's just like, I don't know. That seems kind of tough. Manager challenges. I don't know. To be honest, I've never been a huge fan of challenges in football. Even in lacrosse, challenges to me, I feel they slow down the game, and baseball can already be somewhat of a slow sport.
True.
Most Yankee Red Sox games run 3.5 hours playing, 3.5 to 4 hours plus playing only the 9 innings. So, I mean, for fans, in a sense, I feel like it might be kind of detrimental to them, because, you know, the thing is because it's played every day, and you're going to the park all the time, and it's like a weekday, sometimes you have to work the next day. Like, I know when I was just at the Blue Jays games this past week here, people on the Tuesday night game were, even though it was a close game, were leaving at the 8th, because, I mean, it's almost 10 o'clock. That's the thing. And if you slow the game down even more like that, I feel fans are going to leave. And it's like, I don't think it's that big of an issue, but I don't know. I don't know if challenges is the way to go. I think it should be the umpire's discretion, I think, more than manager challenges, personally.
Probably. You know what? The future of baseball. I know we talked about it on Facebook not too long ago. The 3D technology, which is basically what you see when you pause MLB 2K. You used to pause the game, you did the replay system. The camera would go full 360 around the ballpark. That is now a real life thing. Could you imagine how less incorrect calls if you have a camera that can fully go around a ballpark?
See, for me, I think that's actually a great way to work in replays into baseball rather than a manager's challenge, because if the umpire decides to use the discretion to go down and review the play, or even have maybe an umpire up in the press box or something ready on call to review that play, then you can use that camera, and I feel like that would definitely make it a lot quicker, way quicker review. Than trying to look at 5 different angles and time them up perfectly to see when the ball's in the glove and, you know, the feet are down. But, I think it's a cool technology. I hope that they use it with replay when the technology's kind of worked the bugs out and stuff. But from the videos I've seen, it looks pretty cool.
No, it is. I mean, I think with this kind of technology, you wouldn't have a Todd Helton being 3 feet off the first base and the umpire saying he's out. Because the camera will not only be positioned by his feet, the camera can turn around and see the base and his feet at the same time, which we don't have right now in baseball.
Yeah, and that was quite a bad call, and there has been some bad calls this year actually. But I mean, that's the one thing that at the same time, as much as it sucks for a home team or sucks in general, but a lot of the time human error is natural in life. So I feel like, because I remember reading something where they might be reviewing every single play that's not like a strike and a ball for next year. I don't know if that's true or not, but that just seems a little bit excessive, personally, to review that much, because I feel like you're kind of taking away the uniqueness of the game, or the randomness of the game, where it's like, a play maybe doesn't go a certain way, but it's a really close call. But I mean, I understand, like, that Todd Helton play was ridiculous and should have never been called that way, and replay would have overturned it, which, that's why replay is good, but at the same time, you don't want it to control the game too much.
No, absolutely not, Josh. And Joshua, moving to another sport that involves balls, before we get to this arena football story, I want to get your take on the LA Kiss. But first, I have to mention, I know for a long time you've never really been a soccer guy, but you are now, Josh, getting into the English Premier League.
Yeah, the season started off this past Saturday, and I thought, why not? I was up early. I thought my timeline on Twitter was actually littered with soccer tweets. So I was like, sure, why not? Let's watch a game. So I ended up watching the Swansea-Manchester United game. And I thought, hey, maybe this isn't so bad. I don't mind watching it. It's kind of nice to... I was rooting for Swansea City, not that I'm a huge fan of them or anything, because I don't really know much about them. But it was just nice to kind of have another team to root for. So I think I'm going to try and pay attention to the EPL this year. But I do have to pick a team, and I think I might choose Everton because that's your name.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so because that's how I'm going to pick a team. I'm just going to pick a random team and see how it goes. Because I'm not going to pick I'm not going to pick Chelsea. I'm not going to pick Man U. I'm not going to pick Man City, because that's just too easy. I want to pick a team that's good enough that they're not going to get relegated, hopefully, ever, so I can continuously watch them. But not a team that's almost guaranteed to be going deep in the playoffs. So yeah, Everton's going to be my team. I honestly don't know anything about them.
See, that's how I know you're new to soccer. There's no playoffs in the EPL. That's how I know you're fresh.
There's no playoffs? Oh, okay, yeah. I've honestly never watched soccer.
Yeah, no.
I don't think I've sat through more than 3 games in my life. The only game I've actually seen live was when the U21s were here in Edmonton years back when I was young. I think I was still in elementary school, to be honest.
Oh man, that's the guy. EPL soccer. Whoever is leading on the table whenever the season is done, that's your winner.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, which would suck. Which would really, really, really suck for any of the sports. Could you imagine NHL just doing that? Best team wins the cup. No playoffs.
Well, they did this year actually, but.
No, you know what I mean, you bugger. No, like just best team, best record wins. It would be literally 5 straight years of Pittsburgh and Chicago winning the cup. It wouldn't be anybody else winning.
Yeah, that's a good one. Vancouver would have got their cups for once.
Oh, Lord.
Instead of choking in the playoffs, they would have got them, and this Luongo situation could have never happened. And so, there would be some benefits for some teams, but at the same time, I like the idea of playoffs.
Yeah, no, it's funny because
maybe I'm not a fan of the EPL anymore because they don't have playoffs.
It's funny because Major League Soccer, which always gets ripped in Europe, has a play. Because it's funny because MLS, they're one of the few leagues that has the playoffs, but overseas they get ripped for having it, and they basically get ripped all the time for Americanizing soccer, which I find is hilarious. I think it's actually, I don't mind the fact that they have playoffs and division. I don't mind that because, listen, it's American soccer. It's never ever going to conform to what the Europeans like. Pro soccer is very strange to what they've adapted, because I know American soccer, one thing that I know we talked about, I thought was okay for changing how the game is played, was Major League Soccer. When I first started watching it, they had NHL-style shootouts from 35 yards out. You would come racing in and shooting the goalkeeper.
That seems a little bit weird to me.
I mean, you give the goalie more of a chance, because if you see soccer penalty kicks, the goalie is, he's 15 yards away, has to dive.
That's true, and that is actually kind of unfair, because pretty much the goalie has to guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a player coming in from 35 yards away, you have more time to analyze and think where he's going to go. Because if you notice, penalty kicks rarely get stopped.
Yeah, that's true. And if they do, it's pretty much luck from what I've seen, at least.
No, it is this. But hey, you're jumping Swansea and kind of Everton. Well, I'll tell you this. Swansea will be an average team. Everton will start off hot. I know they tied Norwich City 2-2. They should have beaten Norwich. But Everton, they're the only English Premier team to never, ever, ever be relegated.
Oh, really?
They've never been relegated.
I was doing some research, though. I thought I saw a couple other teams, like Man United. Like, they've been... it said on the thing that it's like 22 years they've been in and they've never been relegated either. But if it's going back to the 1800s, then wow, that's actually pretty impressive. I'm glad I chose the team.
Yeah, Everton, yeah.
I want to actually be able to watch soccer because we only get it really here on Sportsnet. So.
It's true. Sportsnet, well, TSN sometimes too when the World Cup happens. It's funny because the World Cup, there are people who can't stand soccer, but the World Cup, woo! They love them some soccer and they wouldn't watch it any other time of the year. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I will say I do watch the World Cup. I don't fangirl like you did there, but I do watch it when it's on just because it's kind of cool to see like the super teams kind of built, like kind of like an all-star team in a sense, or like the Olympics when Canada puts together in the hockey Olympics amazing rosters kind of thing, and then you see the English team very strong in soccer. You see Ronaldo on his team and stuff like that. So it is kind of cool to see all those really top players come together. I'm actually on Everton's Wikipedia page right now. They have nice colors. Blue and yellow.
Very nice color. And you are... And you know what? Their nickname is the Toffee Man.
Oh, yes, I see. The Toffee's right here. That's kind of cool. I don't think I've ever had toffee.
No?
I have many years ago. I probably choked on it as a child and was taken away and never allowed to eat it again. But
I had toffee when I was 8 years old last, and I broke a tooth off.
Oh, you would.
Yes.
That's so Avry.
I broke a tooth eating toffee when I was 8 years old.
Yeah, I can see that. Sounds like it'd be painful.
Yeah, this turned into Avery's childhood abuse by toffee and water.
Yeah, you should take care of your teeth there, man.
No, I should. I know. I need my teeth.
Everton's official site. It took me to this mobile site that wanted to try and get me to sell my soul. So I thought.
What? Continuing our talk on types of football, be gridiron or the footy type, now we can get to this story of the newest expansion team in the Arena Football League.
That still exists? That league still exists?
Hey! I love the Arena Football League. Don't bash it, son!
Yeah, of course you would. You also probably, partake in some random cricket league from, Antarctica, too. Or, Madagascar.
Cricket's a popular sport in Africa. Don't bash it.
Oh, honestly, I love cricket. I've played it once before, and it was very enjoyable. But it's kind of ridiculous how fast that the cricket ball goes.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny because people who say, oh, cricket, I don't like cricket. It's too long. Try catching a ball made of full-on cork, barehanded, harder than a baseball.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, they were only the wicketkeeper wears gloves. Everyone else, no gloves.
Yeah, now I would not be down for that whatsoever.
Guys easily break fingers playing cricket.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, so remind me to never play cricket. I don't want to break my hand. And you.
Anyway, the LA Kiss. So.
LA Kiss, that's their name, eh?
The new expansion team, owned by Kiss, owned by Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley. Now, here's my problem. LA Kiss is grammatically not even a word.
Yeah, that's true. Also the fact is owned by Kiss. Not bashing Kiss, but that just seems like an interesting venture for the two.
No, it does. You wouldn't expect them to get into buying a professional football team, but you know what? I'll give them this. They've been around for 40 years, and Kiss is worth millions, if not billions. So they can make this team great.
And you know what? It'll bring the Arena Football League probably a lot of publicity. That's for sure.
It will. It will.
But are they even going to be good? Is this team going to be competitive, or are they going to just be terrible?
That's the big thing, because there have been a lot of teams in the Arena Football League that have been hyped and have crapped the bed.
Oh, okay, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
They do an expansion draft, I'm guessing.
Yes, they do. Yes, they're expansion drafts, and every pro leader, it'll be an expansion draft for the LA Kiss for 2014.
Oh, nice, okay. Are they going to have an affiliate in the Lingerie Football League, LA Kiss?
No, they will not. You mean the Legends?
I'm just trying to book a vacation to LA, and I just want to know if it's worth it.
You mean the Legends Football League? That's no longer a Lingerie Football League.
Well, I mean, still the same acronym, or not acronym, it's the same acronym.
Yes, it's the same acronym.
I'm just going to say it's the Lingerie Football League.
I don't know about that, but frick. You know, it's funny. That's not even the weirdest name this league has had. Because this I don't know too much about the Arena Football League. We've had teams called the Memphis Pharaohs, the Portland Forest Dragons, the Minnesota Fighting Pike, the Miami Hooters. These are all names that... Was that Mike? Was that Josh?
These are teams in the Arena Football League?
That were in the league and no longer exist.
I know. The team names kind of are terrible in the league. I mean, the Philadelphia Soul, that's a pretty bad name, too.
Well, that was
like a WNBA team.
Well, blame John Bon Jovi. That was John Bon Jovi's creation of a name when he used to own the team.
Oh, well, I actually don't mind Bon Jovi's music, so I'll give him that one, I guess.
Yes, no, that was John Bon Jovi's, but you love the Arena Football League, hey. If someone told you, Josh, you're going to play a flag football game with the rebound nets of Arena Football, you would be down for that, wouldn't you? Using rebound nets?
Yeah, honestly, I think that is pretty cool. I think the Arena Football League's cool. The only thing that from what I was watching, because I think I watched about 5 minutes of the Arena Bowl, what I noticed is when you get, like, tackled against the boards, you're immediately down.
Oh, yeah, you are down again.
I don't like that. I think you should be allowed to just be, like, punished along the boards, and then you can keep going and just
used to be
for a touchdown or something.
It used to be like that.
Cool.
It used to be like that because originally when the league first started, the boards were out of bounds. Then the boards were back. Then the boards were in play. Then for a while the boards were in play, and I guess for some reason now the boards are back to being out of bounds.
I think it should be.
Yeah, I guess the boards are back to being out of bounds again, which is very strange.
Was it, like, I'm guessing injuries are probably the big problem.
Yeah, because you would see guys run and just get smoked right over the boards.
See, that's awesome. That's what would make me want to go to a game.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, football in a small field like that, where the score every single game is pretty much like 50-50 or 52-50.
Yeah.
I feel like it would become kind of a one-trick pony. So you need almost something like that to kind of draw in fans.
True. I mean, heck, this is a league. The original slogan was, and it was said like this. No lie, Josh. It said like this: the AFL, the 50-yard indoor war.
This is the XFL.
They called Vince McMahon's. That's true. The league, they called themselves a war because of the boards back in the day.
You know what? And that's how you draw fans. You need to kind of have a cheesy slogan like that for sure. Yeah, definitely. That's why the league's successful. Wow. Yeah,
it's true. But
totally.
But although I was telling Mike Wilson, a longtime contributor at Avery Sports Show, the fact that coaches are on the field of play at all times, he said that was very stupid. Yeah,
that seems a little bit weird to me. Like, you think that they would just kind of sit on the bench and then go out when they need to. Like, can they actually go in the huddle with the players?
Yes, they can. Yes, it's possible.
Yeah, see, that's kind of weird to me because, like, when I played minor football, we would do these, like, preseason tournaments, and that was the only time the coach was allowed in the huddle just because we were still learning the plays and stuff. But yeah, I don't think so. I don't like that. I like the idea where it's like sometimes the quarterback has to make their own call or stuff like that. It's not always on the coach. I don't know. It just seems too minor league to have the coach in the huddle.
I think it's funny because being a coach, if you're on the field of play, you cannot be daydreaming as a coach because you can get run over in this league.
Well, look at Peyton in the NFL when he tore his ACL. He was paying attention. He still got absolutely clobbered.
But the thing is, though, he was on the sidelines. Guys are on the field. They're on the field of play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like, I mean, yeah, it seems kind of dangerous. Signing waivers and such, I'm sure.
That's what makes the Arena Football League different. The league's that much different. Anyway, we see look at the time, Josh. We go on late. I gotta edit this now and bring it down so that the big bosses of Avery Sports Inc. don't want to choke me out.
You're your own boss, so you're saying you're gonna choke yourself out. That's kind of sick.
You know what? Nah, I'll get it out too. That's a bit disturbing. I'm not Quagmire.
Okay, fine. Okay, we'll edit that out. Let's just edit the whole show. Okay, fine. All right.
I'm not Glenn Quagmire.
You are Glenn Quagmire.
No, anyway. NFL talk. I know the league that you enjoyed more than the CFL. You're a New England Patriots fan.
I thoroughly enjoy the NFL more than the CFL.
You're a New England Patriots fan, and, well, everyone, their project, Mr. Timothy Richard Tebow with this team, and, well, the first two preseason games haven't really been his best, have they, Josh?
They have not. When you go 1 for 7 and throw for negative yards, you are not making a case to make the team. Right now, I have serious doubts that he even does make the team, to be honest. He's, it's something like that where it's when you're a third string quarterback to begin with. You're kind of expendable in a sense, and it has been kind of a sideshow with him, and that's not really the way that Belichick and Kraft like to run their team. They don't like the distractions and stuff. So and that's the thing. Tebow would have been fine, would be fine for this team if he can make plays, really add to the team. The distraction isn't really a big deal. But when you're playing terribly and you're also a distraction, I don't think he stays, to be honest, unless he starts playing better in these last two games.
Yeah, no, he's going to really need to. And, of course, the critics are once again going to say, see, he's not a quarterback. Anyone who switches positions, they did it in college or their first year. He's in now, year 5 of the NFL? And now he want to be a tight end in 1 month? Not going to happen.
That's true. It would be tough. At the same time, it's there's been times where, maybe a position change could help. But yeah, you're right. It usually does happen in college. But no, I don't know. It's just tough because I think he has unbelievable talent. He can play a professional sport, but quarterback I don't think is where he can play. But then again, I don't really have an answer to what position he could play to really make an impact on the team. Maybe tight end is that, but you have to have a team that's willing to take a chance. I think the only team is Jacksonville, personally, to move him to tight end if he was to go to a team, just because they really have nothing to lose right now.
But Tim Tebow to me is the kind of guy where I think his mind says, no, I'm a quarterback. I'm not a tight end. I'm not a receiver. I'm a quarterback. Play me where I know how to play. I won't play at all.
That's a fair point too. Tebow's a tough situation because there's some times where you see a really great player. There was times when he did play for the Broncos that it wasn't just luck. It was a really good performance, or he did have that light at the end of the tunnel, but it just wasn't there enough.
No. And people say, he can't be a good quarterback. Well, John Fox got him to the playoffs and they won. They won a playoff game knocking off Pittsburgh under John Fox. You know what? I think the Jets was awful for him. If he went to Jacksonville and if he was allowed to be a leader, that could have been a playoff team. The Jets was a dumb decision.
Yeah, it really was. And I think really Denver seemed like maybe the only team that could have been the team for him, just because he was willing, the coach was willing to take a chance and actually roll with him. At first when he signed, I thought, hey, with the Patriots, I was like, this might be good. They might be able to use him in a unique way to kind of make their offense even stronger. But yeah, the way they're using him, and maybe it's just because there's no other way to use him, it's not working, and I don't think it will work, personally.
I don't know, because I figure, I'm a guy who's never been a Patriots backer, but I will say this. Give him time to learn the Tom Brady, and that could change in a year or two.
It could, but the thing is, they're two very different players. Tebow is a player that's a running quarterback, where Brady is a complete pocket passer. He can't scramble for his life.
No.
The only running he can do is a quarterback sneak for a touchdown. That's pretty much it. So, obviously he needs Tebow. The one area that Tebow needs help in, Brady is one of the best at, in accuracy, throwing motion, technique and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It really depends, because it's tough for a pocket passer to teach a running quarterback how to throw.
No, it's true. It's true.
There's always going to be that tendency as a running quarterback to tuck and run.
No, exactly. And it's funny because with Tebow, people say it's just Tony Romo gets more slack cut for him than Tim Tebow. And if I'm an expansion team and you tell me pick either Romo or Tim Tebow to build a team around, I will take Tim Tebow.
That's tough to say. Honestly, I think I'd go with Tony Romo, maybe if at the time he was a little bit younger, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I still think Tony Romo's not a bad quarterback. I think maybe on a different team he'd probably have a little bit more success. But
what, Tony Romo, I'm going to make a great comparison with you. Tony Romo is the Roberto Luongo of the NFL. He's great in the regular season.
Yeah, that's true. What they're the yeah. I'm trying to remember. I think there's some stat where there's 1 month of the year where they just absolutely turn on the Jets. If I'm correct.
Yeah, I'll leave in December, but I think it is November, December where it is. Romo was great, but you see Romo in the playoffs, and of course there was a fumble against Seattle. There was just winning you're in games where they've lost before, and they've just absolutely they've won one playoff game in the past 16 years. If you're Jerry Jones, that's not good.
That's true. That's not good at all. Honestly, I almost think that if he would have never dropped that field goal there, and they would have still like kind of just lost the game outright.
Yeah.
I think that his career would have been a lot different. I think they may have had a couple more playoff losses, but just the way it happened, really, he never recovered from that almost.
No.
In a sense. As soon as he gets some playoffs, it seems like he gets those jitters kind of thing.
It does. You know what's strange about that whole sequence? The fact that Romo was the holder. How often do you see the starting quarterback being a holder?
Yeah, that seems kind of weird to me, honestly. I still kind of wonder why he was, but you never know. I mean, if you've been doing it all season, you're not going to change it right there.
No, it's true. No, yeah, because in the NFL, the holder is always the kicker or the punter, and in the CFL, it's always the receiver or defensive back, because I was told that in the CFL they trust the defensive back, he has some of the better hands, a punter, for holding kicks.
Which is surprising because, I mean, DBs always get the bad rap sometimes for having terrible hands. Right. They can only swat, so...
It's funny because, if you have a receiver as a holder, you can't really do a fake field goal pass.
Yeah, that's true. That is true because you do lose the receiver kind of maybe blocking there or on the edge, so...
It's true, because I think in Hamilton, their holder is Dave Stala. Are you going to trust Dave Stala to throw a pass to the end zone? Yeah, I don't know.
You never know, though. I mean, there's some receivers that could have good arms.
No, it's true. I mean, there are a lot of guys, of course, there are a lot of guys, we talk about converting positions. There are a lot of guys in the NFL who were quarterbacks in college or who were quarterbacks in the NFL, like Brad Smith. Yeah. I think utility player in today's NFL is kind of dangerous, if you ask me. I was talking to you on the phone earlier, and you, Josh, the Cleveland Browns will be a sleeper team. Where's this coming from?
Yeah, I don't know, something about them. They seem like they could be a team that could make noise. I mean, not to do anything extraordinary. Like, I don't think they'll make the playoffs because, I mean, they do have to compete with the Ravens, who aren't as strong as they were last year, obviously. But the Bengals, I think, are probably going to take that division pretty easily, I think, in my opinion. But, I just think that they're a team that kind of will squeak out games. Like, I mean, they played the Patriots this year, and they have beat the Patriots in the past, and I think that they're probably going to beat the Patriots again this year, because it just seems like they play good against the Patriots. So I think that's a win that they shouldn't get, but they will. I think Trent Richardson's going to have an unbelievable year is what it comes down to. I mean, Whedon's not a great quarterback, but their defense is getting way better, and yeah, they have that rushing attack. So I think they're a team that can win, 7 to 9 games around there. It all depends, though. Like, I mean, it just depends with, injuries and stuff. But I would watch out for them. I think that they could make noise. I think the St. Louis Rams could also make some noise, too, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like they'll be another team that will definitely make strides in the right direction, for sure.
That's interesting. St. Louis, I mean, you got San Fran, you have Seattle. I still think it'll be a dogfight between those two teams in the NFC West.
Yeah, I completely agree. I totally think that those two teams are going to probably both win over 10 games for sure, and maybe both teams will finish like 12-4 or something like that, or 14-2, 12-4. Like, that division is tough. But yeah, I don't know. The Rams were a team that even kind of made some noise last year in a sense of they really kept good teams in close games. So I feel like they can make a difference. They can really start getting close to maybe being able to compete for a playoff in the future there.
Well, that's very interesting. I know we were a Canadian show, so we must discuss the CFL. I know tonight the Edmonton Eskimos, Josh.
I really don't want to. I really don't want to.
The Edmonton Eskimos, Josh, are 1-6. I mean, that's all I can say about that.
That was the best sound effect. You won the podcast world for this day.
Thank you.
For that sound effect alone.
I mean, and they have a chance to get back into this game with about, a minute 20 left, and Kavis Reed is on the field and gets himself an objectionable conduct penalty. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they had any timeouts left at that point, but I think that might have been. He might have actually took that on purpose to stop the clock. Because he definitely didn't want the field goal unit out there. Like I said, I don't remember if they had timeouts left, but you'd think if he had a timeout, he would use it.
Yes, well.
But Davis is having a rough year.
A very rough year.
I mean, it's not. I don't think it's completely all on the players here. I think the coaching is an issue as well. How much of the issue is coaching? That's not something I can really comment on. I haven't really watched too many of the games this year, just for lack of interest, to be honest. But
consequences.
Honestly, they put a lot of faith in him, signing him after I think it was the second week to another 3-year deal. So
yes.
They obviously believe that he's the guy, but it might be the associate coaches around him that just are that he's not watching too much or not paying close enough attention to the plays that they're calling and stuff like that. What was it a couple games ago where they for a 2-point conversion they were running a shotgun play?
Yes.
A shotgun run, to be exact. That's poor coaching. There's nothing. There's really no other way to explain it. That's terrible coaching.
Yeah, that was the Montreal game where they lost. The last play of the game, right?
Yeah,
Montreal
exactly. And that's the thing. And I noticed a bit of it tonight. There was just their defense really let them down tonight, though. Personally, I think it was completely their defense that was the issue, because Riley had an unbelievable game. He finally looked like a CFL starter.
He did.
He made some good throws. His receivers played well too. I mean, there was some amazing catches. The one by Chambers towards the end of the game there, that touchdown was really good too. So the offense clicked tonight, and it was the fact that they let Ray was also on point. I mean, to go for 30 for 35 for 400 and something yards. I mean, when a guy's on point like that, it's really tough to stop them. But at the same time, if the offense is going to click like that, your defense has to be there, and they just weren't.
Oh, it's true. I mean, Ricky Ray, whenever he's played against the Eskimos, he's been a gunman. He's been a gunslinger against Edmonton.
Yeah, and what is it with Edmonton sports, right, where the former player always seems to bite the Edmonton team in the ass. But yeah,
I don't know.
That trade still bugs me, but and it's partially the reason why I'm pretty nonchalant about watching the Eskimos this year. But yeah, he played fantastic, and he showed again tonight why he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league, if not the best quarterback in the league. So
you know what? Fans wouldn't have been as mad if we saw in the combo same end zone Chad Owens wearing green and gold in that trade.
Yeah. And, I mean, I don't think that's a trade that would have happened. I don't think they would have ever given up Chad Owens just because he's really good. So, but, I mean, even just to get something that wasn't a kicker, a kicker to me, as me watching the NFL a lot more, a kicker to me is just an easily replaceable player. It's not something that, you can get by with you don't need to have the best kicker in the league to be successful, right?
Right.
So to trade for a kicker like that, it just doesn't make sense.
No.
And, yeah.
And you know what though? I know people say don't rag on Grant Shaw. You know, the team puts him in these spots where he's making long kicks. But Grant Shaw missed a 28-yard field goal in a dome.
Yeah, that's he's had a rough year and stuff, but I wouldn't put it all on him because at the end of the day, I know you have to make those field goals, but you know you can also put on the offense. It's like why are you not why was that not a touchdown instead, right?
That's very valid.
But at the same time, I feel like he's just having trouble with all the pressure behind it because I'm sure he's seen what fans of the Eskimos have been saying about how it's like they can't believe we traded the franchise quarterback for a kicker.
True.
And I mean it's not always it's not so much on him. It's just it's the fact that it's the position we traded for.
Exactly.
Not the player we traded for. But at the same time, he seems like a pretty young guy. I'm guessing he is kind of young. To have that in the back of your head all the time, it's hard to keep your composure, especially playing your former team too.
Yeah, not good for your psyche at all. True. And anyway, like I said we're gonna wrap it up, but there's just too much going on. Anyway, many people we know in Canada we lost two. Well, we lost. They didn't die. We lost two of our most well-known sportscasters to America. Fox Sports 1, and I know I sent you a link of Jane Dan's best clips on Fox Sports Live. What do you think of them? These guys are back, refreshing, but the panel of Efren Salam, Gary Payton, Andy Roddick, McDonald McNabb, that was different. You wouldn't see it on most stations in a highlight show.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't get to see it because it's not up here in Canada, but the panel seemed, from what I saw on Twitter and stuff, people weren't a big fan of the panel, actually. Maybe it was because they were...
We mentioned the panel. I think it's different because you're getting different points of view. You're not getting the same talking heads. Maybe Roddick said something different about basketball, baseball. You hear these guys talking about their peers. It's refreshing. It's a risk. It's being outside the box, and stations don't go outside the box very much.
Yeah, and I think they're definitely trying to do something different with it. I mean, it is kind of cool to see someone that probably has no clue about some sports try and talk those sports. I think it'll have hilarious consequences.
They could. Well, we'll find out in a few weeks with Fox Sports Live. We'll find out and see what them.
They do have Krista Thompson, so it's automatically probably the best station.
You just drooled watching those clips, didn't you, Josh?
No, I didn't. But no, she's actually very good looking. So
yeah. Avery's World episode 2 that comes to an end. I gotta give a shout out though to the men's 4x100 track team in the World Championships. Team Canada won the bronze thanks to disqualification of Great Britain. Canada track is back on, pardon the pun, track. Damien Warner, he won medals. Brian Thiessen and Dylan Armstrong, the shot putter. Derek Drouin, Canadian track baby, it's coming back. And Josh, I want to thank... Anyway, on that note, we'll wrap... On that note, we'll end it. Josh, thank you for coming on episode 2 of Avery's World. Will you do it again sometime, sir?
Hopefully I didn't... Probably don't have me on. It's probably wise for you to never have me on again.
It's probably a good call.
Probably you to never talk to me again.
Yeah. Probably a fantastic decision on my part.
Yeah. This is probably the worst business decision in your history.
Probably.
Of creating your personal brand. Can I plug myself?
Go ahead. Go plug yourself, Josh.
Okay, y'all should follow me on Twitter. I just said y'all. That's pretty bad. You should all follow me on Twitter. BOURSEY. Actually, don't. It's the worst. Please don't. Follow me.
Go follow Josh at Bourhis and follow me at Avry at AVRY. Hey, if you want to be a co-host on Avery's World, tweet at me. Let's get some more viewpoints on this show. For Josh, I'm Avry, and I am done. Good night, Slovenia.